Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all enjoying your week so far. This is where I talk about the books that I'm reading. I like to read diverse books and I highlight a lot of Canadian literature. If you are new, thank you so much for checking out my channel. It is great to have you here. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I am going to be talking about books that I have put on my TBR because of you. So this is not my physical TBR, but definitely my TBR. So I have done a few videos like this now where I talk about books that I've added to the TBR because of other booktubers or subscribers that have, usually they recommend books in the comments. So I will link all of those videos that I've done previously so that you can check them out and see all the books that I've added because of you. I also recently did a video about 12 of those books that I read from these recommendations. So I will link that video below as well. Today I have several more books. I have 10 more books to share that I'm hoping to read based on your recommendations. So some of them are from a while back, since it has been a little bit since I've done one of these videos. I have recommendations from other booktubers, like I said, but also colleagues from where I work, publishers, and Instagram. So I will put links below to everyone's channels if they have channels, social media, and then also to the videos where I saw the books. So please check, all of them out. All of these people are wonderful. So first up, I have my friends at Canada Reads American Style. They did a video about, this was probably like 9 or 10 months ago. And this is from one of their reading from our shelves videos that they do. They do a series of these. So Tara and Rebecca both read this and they talked about The Brickworks by Lucy E.M. Black. This is a historical fiction novel. It's about two men who open up a brickworks. And Tara said that it's the most beautiful friendship she's ever read in a book. So that's what got me. I was like, I have to read that. So thanks to Tara and Rebecca for putting that on my TBR. The next book I put on my TBR was because of Kim from Middle of the Book March. And Kim did a video on, she talked about some of her favorite nonfiction books. And she included several that I agree with her. But she also included Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. And Kim said that this fits the category of nonfiction that makes you cry. So it's about medicine when it comes to end of life and death. So this is kind of my thing. That's what I do every day. And Kim said that it's well written, that it's well researched, and she also gave a warning that it's very emotional. So again, I love books that are emotional, so I'm all in. Next up is Danni from Danni Dabbles. Danni and I have done a few buddy reads together with varying degrees of whether we like the books or not. But Danni hosted Battle of the Booktubers last year, which I was very lucky to be part of, and it was so much fun. And then after the battles, Danni then gave 4 recommendations to each of the booktubers that had battled. So there were 16 of us. And I want to highlight 2 of the 4 that she recommended for me. I had 2 of the 4 books on my TBR. One of them is even on my shelf. That one is The Overstory by Richard Powers. So many people, like a lot of people, have spoken very highly about this book. And so many people have told me that I would like it. It's been compared to Greenwood by Michael Christie, which is a book that I absolutely loved. And Danni was pretty confident in this recommendation, and I do think that she's onto something. I think she's right. I think I'm going to like it. A book that I hadn't heard of until Danni's recommendations is called Dallergut Dream Department Store. This is by, and I hope I'm saying the name right, Lee Meagan. translated from the Korean by Sandy Joosun Lee. So all of the other booktubers in my group had given me recommendations in translation, which I thought was, kind of cool that they all did that. So this was Danni's choice of a book in translation for me. And even though it's fantasy, and you all know I don't always get along with fantasy, something tells me that I will like this one, and I'm totally willing to give it a try. It's about a store where you buy dreams. So that whole concept is very intriguing to me. Okay, the next recommendation comes from Lisa, Lisa is a colleague of mine, and many people at work, they do know that I love to read. I'm always asking what everybody's reading, and some of them know that I have a BookTube channel. I'm not sure if Lisa knows that I have a BookTube channel or that she's being mentioned in it, but not too long ago we were talking about books, and she was gushing about The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. She said it was really good and that I would need tissues. So of course, I love a book that's going to tear my heart out. So I looked it up that day, and when I saw that it was the same author as Fourth Wing, I was kind of surprised. Fourth Wing has been absolutely everywhere. I've been aware of it. And I was a little confused because I thought The Last Letter was a romance, maybe even historical fiction. I'm not sure about that, but it is a romance. But of course, Fourth Wing is fantasy, dragons, and totally not my thing. So I asked another coworker who I figured would have read Fourth Wing, and she had. So I asked her about it, and she said that Rebecca Yarros had started with romance. So this was all new to me. It totally made sense, and I'm really looking forward to reading this other book, The Last Letter. Okay, next up, Eric Carl Anderson did a video called Surviving the Worst Thing Imaginable. So just that title obviously got my attention, and he talked about a book called Show Me Where It Hurts by Claire Gleeson. This is a debut novel that sounds like it would grab me from the first few pages. Eric said that in those first few pages, we meet Rachel, who is a passenger in the car that her husband is driving. Their two children are in the back seat, and out of nowhere, her husband turns to her and says, "I'm sorry," as he turns the steering wheel to drive them off the road with the intention of killing himself and his entire family. So, I have to find out what happens. I have to read this book. And the way that Eric talked about it made me even more engrossed by it. So this went on the TBR very, very rapidly. The next book is also about a heavy topic. Lindy from Lindy's Magpie Reads talked about Things in Nature Merely Grow by Yiyun Lee in one of her Friday reads. So this is a memoir about the author and her family, and their two sons both died by suicide. And Lindy read the opening lines, and I was immediately drawn in, and I think that this will be a powerful book. Lindy talked about the language and writing being precise. And I can imagine that for this book, and especially for the topic, it will be very poignant. So again, this went on my TBR rather quickly. Moving over to Instagram, I saw a post from Meagan's book club. She shared her top 10 books of 2025 so far. There were several books that sounded really good. And a few I think had already been on my radar, but I want to share two of the books that were new to me and that I thought would be, good reads that I would enjoy. So the first one is called The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlick. This is a book about grief. I know, there's a common theme here, which, you know, it tends to be a topic that I do enjoy reading about, especially if the author writes grief well, because I think it's one of those things that's very hard to describe grief. So in this book, there is a center where people go to sleep their grief away. Again, that's a very interesting concept to me, and I want to know more. And then the other book she talked about that I thought sounded, you know, pretty good was The Correspondent. This is by Virginia Evans. This is a book about a woman who is writing letters to various people in her life. And Meagan said that she sobbed. She said she sobbed in a way that she hasn't sobbed in a very long time. And I was like, add it to the TBR right now. Check, right? Like, done. So the next book I found out about just recently. It's from HarperCollins Canada. So I'm going to try and find a link for this, like perhaps on their Instagram or something, because I know that they have it out there. I'll put it below. So I saw the other day a book that is coming out on October the 21st of this year. And had I been aware of this earlier, this book definitely would have been on my most anticipated books of 2025 for part 2. And it's called Talk Treaty to Me by Crystal Gail Fraser and Sara Komarnisky, I think it is. So I think treaties are misunderstood or not understood at all. And, you know, we talk about them, we hear about them, but I don't think that people, myself included, really understand fully what we're talking about. So my hope is that this book will kind of help bridge that gap and at least explain the basics of treaties in Canada. So I hope. Also, great title. So those are the 10 books that I have added to my TBR that I think they sound interesting and I hope to read them. You know, I don't know how long it will take me to get through all of these, but I want to thank everyone for putting these books on my radar. Thank you for talking about them. Thank you for letting me know about them. So please let me know if you have read any of these books or if you are interested in reading them as well. What are some books that you've put on your TBR recently that you are most excited to read? I can't wait to hear all about it. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.